Okay, so I've been asked many times at this point to try Arlecchino and Miss Coffee on the same team, so I guess we're gonna do that in this video. So we're gonna have sort of two versions. We're gonna have one with Bennett and then one with, Shieldon. So the big thing that this is gonna help with is probably my C2 issues. I hate my C2. My Arlecchino C2 actively makes me hate playing her on melt teams because it messes with the melt so easily that if you don't do your rotation perfectly, you could end up with pyro applied the entire time. All right, do I have high hopes for this team? Actually, no, if I'm being entirely honest. I know it's going to be double cryo appliance, but I really just don't see it being super great, if we're being entirely honest. All right, here we go. All right, and now we can do this, and actually, no, it's working. It is working. In fact, it's working. So, I can't really complain about it. We did, 2.5 million damage. That's just a fact. There's not really much else I could say about that. It is a fact that we did 2.5 million damage right there, basically. That worked out very, very well. It's not bad, it isn't. However, let's, think about maybe possibly like other teams, right? So we could talk about this. Let's go ahead. I didn't really see Arlecchino's damage numbers. I was more so looking at the Capybara's health. So what I want to go ahead and do here is we're going to go ahead and get Bennett out here. Now, that's minus 60% crit damage for Miss Coffee and minus 450 attack for Arlecchino, and also the res shreds and stuff. So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. All right, we're going to start off simple. We're just going to go for it. Let's go. We don't really have that much, damage on, 100,000, right? I forgot, yeah. Miss Coffee, when she melts on her burst, is a very spicy, damage number there. And, yeah, this is the issue with Bennett. Well, actually, no, we shouldn't be using Bennett, like that. Oh, I completely blinked because I was using Shieldon in that slot and Bennett replaced Shieldon, obviously. We shouldn't be using Bennett that high into the rotation or that, low into rotation. We should either be using him after Citlali or maybe before Citlali. I think we're going to try before Citlali because I think that just makes more sense overall, right? It is important to note that my Arlecchino is C2R1, and I mean, she is, her constellations really make her a lot better. I wish, well, I say make her a lot better, and we can talk about, I opened with her C2 makes me hate playing her, basically. It really does. Although this team has been very, very useful and not making me hate player, that's been a thing. It's been a thing that I've been, thinking about. So let's go ahead and let's get into melting. Let's go. All right. So, okay. Okay. Too much. Okay. I keep like thinking, all right. Come on. Yeah. See, this is the issue. This is the issue. We just got all of that pyro appliance. Didn't need all that pyro appliance, Arlecchino. So yeah, you very clearly saw the issue with Arlecchino melt there. It's like she can just sometimes do too much. And when we were trying to do that rotation there, she did too much. Before it was like we had two cryo characters as a buffer that completely got rid of the pyro aura. And even after that, we still couldn't get rid of the pyro aura. So yeah, this is why I'm not too big of a fan of C2 Arlecchino melt, because it's so much harder to deal with the pyro aura. Now, there is one way you can do it. You can do this. That's not what I want to do. You could do this, right? You could do a charge attack first, and then, oh, well, this isn't, okay, well, I guess, it matters, but it doesn't matter, right? All right, then we'll do that, and then we'll have all this. Yeah, nope, too much pyro. I mean, yeah, this is the issue. I hate it, right? Like, it worked before, because like I said, we got rid of basically all the pyro, right? We got rid of all the pyro because we used two cryo characters in basically back-to-back, and then we were ready to go on and fight the Capybara. Let me try doing this properly, because, yeah, that, then this, then this, then that. Okay, didn't crit on that, of course. 82% crit rate, though. Loving it. All right, and then we won't hit with that, and then we'll have all this. So this, once we have the cryo aura, it stays. All right, so that's nice. That's nice. Once we have it, it stays. Well, it stays until it doesn't. Thanks, just thanks. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna write this off as just no. I mean, to be fair, I didn't really notice a big jump between the Shieldon and Bennett version. So for me personally, sure. But my Shieldon, again, C2 Shieldon, right? It's a C2 Shieldon. It's not, you know, oh, wow, Shieldon, you did so good. Now, I could run Cinder on Citlali when we're doing this. Yeah, that is a thing. Because right now I'm running Instructors, which Instructors does not work on anything except for, I believe, when we were doing that Bennett rotation. Bennett was applying enough Pyro to apply Pyro to the Capybara. And then Citlali would go ahead, do her E-skill, and give Arlecchino the 120 Elemental Mastery. Might be a little off on that. Might not actually be activating this. If so, then yeah, Cinder would have just been better and pumped up our numbers more. But is it worth the headache? Cinder's not going to change the fact that I could just not end up having Cryo applied, right? It could just be, you know, I much so personally believe that I'll be using Shieldon on this team anyways, I think. Because really, I can't. Because when I'm playing these teams, I don't want to have to worry about every single fiber. Well, now we're just waiting. Okay, that took a while. Okay, all right, sure. It's not great. it's not great. But it is, you know, 200,000 damage, or not 200,000, 250 mil, or 2.5 million. There you go. I did a little bit off on that one. So yeah, I mean, I much so like this team more. But do I want to run it? Like, let's go ahead and let's check it out over my vape team, right? My standard vape team. Well, I say standard. My standard vape team looks more like this right now because, I mean, if I was actively able to choose what vape team I wanted to run, it would be something like this. It's just that in this team, a lot of the times when I'm actually playing the game, you know, Shieldon gets replaced, you know, with Kazuha a lot of times because I'm using Shieldon with Mavwika most of the time. So let's go ahead and let's see what we can get out with this team. I mean, I don't have high hopes. I'll be honest. I don't. Like, I'm expecting the 2.5 million on this team again, and it's just going to be like, what was the point of the previous team? Like, really? Okay, yay, now we have a fully healed Arlecchino. I'm just sad, man. Like, I want to be able to use my Arlecchino again without, like, having complete, you know, oh no. Like, I want to be able to use her without feeling like she's just gonna die, or not die, but, hey! I hate crit rate. The word, the letters. Alright, so, I mean, it did a little less. It did a little less, I guess we can say. It didn't do half of the Capybara's health, which is what both of the melt teams were doing in this video. You know, it worked, but, you know, I wasn't, like, super confident in what I was doing. Also, I had a lot of Bond of Life afterwards, because I haven't been bothering to reset my Bond of Life, so let's go ahead and use this. I have my Bond of Life here, you know, it's whatever. I don't have Yelan on her, you know, Favonius, because I just don't want to switch it. Please just give me enough energy. I don't want to have to, just give me energy. All right, we'll be fine with that amount. All right, we'll be fine. We'll be fine, chat. And don't forget to mention Bennett's ring is just awful. I hate Bennett's ring. I mean, it's nice that, you know, the freeze team gets rid of that, but keep in mind the freeze team is only getting rid of that for one enemy. Miss Coffee, she works for one enemy, but beyond that, you're not getting any application. So let's go ahead and let's get moving here. Boom, boom, and we'll grab this. Okay, all right. Well, apparently we just didn't even hit the, you know, C2, which is amazing. You know, I love the fact that I'm allowed to miss my C2. That, like, I don't know. I mean, okay, yeah, you guys can see this. You guys can see clearly we did more damage than the melt teams, right? And the melt teams did have extra Bond of Life on a lot of the runs that they did. So, yeah, I can't really, like, it's worse than her vape teams. I can't, you know, and I mean, to be fair, let's talk about this. Yelan is a single target applicator too, right? She's only applying to one enemy. That's not going to change. You know, that's something we could talk about. It's whatever, because Yelan will be able to reapply onto enemies that, you know, Arlecchino starts to target. It's a tough thing. I don't think that I'll ever be using this team, or not this team, but the melt team, unless I really don't need Citlali or Shieldon. Then I'll use the team, because that team was pretty nice. It was okay, but I see no reason in why I should do that when I have the ability to use, like, Yelan and, you know, this team, basically. If I have the ability to use this team, granted, Yelan would be a little bit lower because she would be on Favonius, right? But I just don't see this as, like, the most, you know, I just don't see the melt teams being as good for Arlecchino. Now, or I say the melt teams. The melt teams I showed in this video, the ones where we use Miss Coffee and Citlali. Citlali alone can be good enough for Arlecchino, but as I've stated many a times before, I hate her C2 because it messes with the melt teams. It is so annoying that this C2 just basically is like, oh, no, you're actually, you know, gonna suck on melt teams. You know, it just really is. It really is, because it's such a good constellation, especially for someone like me who just wants to, you know, you brain dead go after and kill the enemy. It gives you a 20% extra res, and that's really strong. And then it attacks, which would be nice if it didn't vape or melt, right? If the attack never vaped or melt, I think I'd like the constellation more. I think I would, because the amount of times the C2 screws me over, it's like I feel like I need to just go ahead and C6 this character so I can make use of her C2. That's how it feels now. It used to not be like this, like I've showed in the vape team, right? The vape team works perfectly fine, even with the C2. There's no real big question. You know, the biggest question on the vape team is like, will I be in Bennett's ring? That's the biggest question. So I'm not gonna like be super hype and excited for this, honestly. I think overall, you know, it's not good. It really isn't, like, right? It's just it's not bad, but you know, it's just like I just wish I could have had something. You know, I wish I had like a better version of something, right? It was so good, but we didn't get that. We didn't. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.